In this week's message from the Rav, a very practical question is asked and answered. Why is it that our words so often fall on deaf ears?
God is instructing Moses to go unto Pharaoh, and you repeat to Pharaoh all that I shall tell you. And Moses answers before God, but I am of uncircumcised lips. How will Pharaoh listen to me? Wow. This is the third time that Moses is reminding God of the problem that he has. And what about the answer of God? In that first encounter where Moses said, I can't speak right. And of course that is a question that the Zohar has raised, to which the Zohar answers something so profound, yet so simple. It says, let us analyze what is speech. Speech is a combination of sound and words. The Zohar says there is a secret. It is a secret that is being revealed here. That Moses is voice. What does that mean? Zeir Anpin. That other reality, that other parallel universe, the flawless universe. That is called voice. Where does that voice come from? It comes from another level, that parallel universe. It is only when that voice becomes manifested in words, those words now are considered to be in another category. That sound now has been brought into another realm, another reality, which is the reality of Malchut, this world as we experience it, this world filled with chaos, pain, and suffering. And so when Moses was saying, I am aral sifatai, meaning the lips are the instruments by which our words, our voice, our thoughts become manifest. Moses was teaching us something so valuable. Torah was teaching us something so valuable. That mankind has a thought, and then he makes it manifest in words. Thought, again, is within that realm of the non-physicality. That it is not always the case of when you speak that your thought has become manifest. In fact, you may have a very specific idea that your thought wishes to convey, and yet you can have an audience of 10,000 people, and there is a possibility that what you thought and what you said may have been understood in 10,000 different ways, different from each other. How is that possible? Because when this world takes over, and the control over this world has not yet been achieved. And that's what we're talking about. Controlling this physical nature, this physical reality. Mind over matter. That's what it's all about. That Moses was on that other level, and therefore when he would speak to Pharaoh, Pharaoh wouldn't hear what he's got to say. The same way as the Israelites didn't want to listen to him. Why? And people don't listen. What we have to say sometimes. Our own children don't hear what we're saying. But it's so clear. Why is it so difficult to understand? Is our constant frustration with family, friends, with whomever we feel that we want to impart some good advice, and yet it remains unheard. It is because thoughts, voice, which are included in another realm, if that malchut, if that conveyor, as the orla, that foreskin that has to be removed, you know why it has to be removed? Because it embodies, in fact, in circumcision, as we have explained so often, embodies the chaos, negativity of this physical reality. And so what Moses was saying, that my voice cannot reach because it's of another dimension. I need someone else, which ultimately brought about the appointment of Aaron, a pure soul in the Malchut level, that when Moses spoke to Aaron, and Aaron then would convey the message, that message would be heard. So before we even make an attempt to give advice, or speak to our children, or speak to our families, we must understand that our lips are unfortunately in the realm of Malchut, uncircumcised. And if those lips haven't been purified, those lips have not been brought up to a level that will be comparable to the flawless universe of Zeir Anpin, that other universe that we all strive to connect with, words will be unheard. And it will simply be an exercise in futility. And so this is our first lesson. Now when we are speaking of mind over matter, no matter what, mind over matter, whatever is included within that topic, we must be constantly aware. How's the Malchut doing? How's that level of this flawless, of this chaotic universe? How is it doing? Have we done something to purify it? Have we done something to make it comparable, similar to that flawless universe? Mind over matter cannot come together unless that Malchut is comparable. Or might we say, is as pure as that level of Zeir Anpin, that parallel universe.
For more information on Moses and what he can teach us about communication, we recommend reading the Rav's book, Days of Power, Volume 2.